The Producer Spotlight with Mr. Instro.
You can be a beat maker and not be a music producer. But when you're a music producer, you don't have to be a beat maker.
Only on the Elements.
Mr. Instro is here.
Hate the singing. Oh, Konje, it's March. It's still March. Okay. That's all good.
I'm starting to take offense. I'm starting to feel like...
No. I told you last week it's not a bad thing. It's like...
Do you know
great.
who hates my singing?
Who?
This hater next to you. Just Chulz hates my singing.
Eish.
She's like, oh my God, when is it going to be April?
Eish. I don't know about that, but like, yo, shout out to Chulz.
What's popping, Mr. Instro?
Yo,
Hater
the
number
weather.
2. Yeah, look.
What's going on with the weather, guys?
I'm not really feeling it. I don't like the cold, and so it's like affecting my vibe. But yeah, it's raining. Somebody's blessings are coming through, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, if we have to look for the silver lining. But besides that, how are you, Mr. Instro?
Yo, I'm super. I'm excited about Boi-1da.
Yeah.
Spotlighting Boi-1da. He is like one of my favorite producers. You know, he has done phenomenally well as a music producer, and I'm excited for us to unpack.
All right, so we're going to be unpacking Matthew Samuels. That's the VIN number.
Yep.
A Jamaican-born, Canada-raised, and goes by Boi-1da, a Grammy-winning producer, as well as being a long-lasting collaborator of Drake. And he has also contributed to records by the likes of Rihanna, Eminem, Jay-Z,
Sure.
Nicki Minaj, Nas, Lana Del Rey, Kendrick Lamar, and so many more. So why are we looking at him today?
Sure. Okay, first of all, I have a name for Boi-1da. Boi-1da is a specific kind of producer.
Okay, this
We
is
call
interesting.
people like Boi-1da a placement genius producer.
Placement genius producer.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means his placements are always just on point.
Okay, so for someone like me, what is a placement?
Okay, so a placement is submitting your music to different artists.
Okay.
And that music making it onto their albums,
Right.
or becoming a single, or just officially getting released. And Boi-1da he's just been that guy, you know. He just knows all the right moves.
Okay.
And it's incredible to, you know, watch his career flourish the way it has. A lot of people are not familiar with how he came up, right? But his first official placement, right? Do you want to take a guess?
No, I don't want to take a guess. I always get it wrong. I always get it wrong.
Okay, a lot of people, because he works so closely with Drake,
Right.
people would assume that that's the guy that he started out with, which is true for the most part.
Right.
But his actual first placement was with GUnit.
What?
Yeah.
Which song?
Crazy, right?
Which one?
A song called Elephant in the Sand. Elephant in the Sand. I've never heard the song. I was like, what?
I've never heard of the song either.
But yeah, that was his official first placement.
That is crazy. Trust me, I was going to get that wrong. I would not have gone
I was
there.
also surprised.
Wow.
I was so surprised because you know, I've always known him like he's a Canadian
Right.
producer, Drake, Canadian,
Right.
and that whole movement, that OVO movement has always moved so closely together,
Right.
And now we find ourselves having a GUnit placement. So how that happened is he had a connect who was helping 50 shoot Get Rich or Die Trying, the movie,
Right.
And he was like, yo, I'm with this guy every day, send me some beats.
Wow.
And let's see how we can make this happen. And
Right.
50 heard the music and he was like, yo, bring it through, you know.
It also just makes me think of the advice that you gave us. I think it was it from Symbolic One about networking horizontally? Was it Symbolic One?
Absolutely.
The moment you said that, I was like, okay, it goes back to that conversation that we were having, because if he didn't network horizontally, he wouldn't have had that connect with that guy who was helping 50 shoot Get Rich or Die Try.
That's easily like the most important advice I can give anybody,
Right.
you know, especially in the creative space. I think it's so important to, you know, come up with your people. Even
Yeah.
the OVO people, if you look at them, they all sort of like came up at the same time.
Right.
And that's what you want to do. You want to come up with your people you have the same energy with, the same drive, and it's so important to move with those people because you guys understand each other. Even the people last week from TDE,
right?
The TDE producers, those guys came up together,
right.
And they created a force because they were in sync, and that's what you want to do,
right,
as a producer.
Do you think that we have soil that is fertile enough for that to be the case here at home?
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Of course. The only thing that I find very difficult for us is that, man, once money comes in, things get a bit complicated. It's strange. It's a very strange thing because all the producer cliques that came out are no more because, different reasons, but the most important one is always money, and jealousy and all these weird as emotions that
right.
people go through. And I think maybe in time and maybe with a bit of education, and maybe if we sort of like broaden our industry, as producers, maybe if we make a conscious decision to maybe have like something like a society,
right.
Something that brings us together, then maybe we could find ourselves becoming a bit more valuable and a bit more successful.
So something like a producers association, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Like a situation where we know we can negotiate prices, or we can have a standardized way of saying, okay, cool, this is the process of the business. Because I feel like that is pretty much what gets in the way of creativity.
Right.
And places like the States, overseas, they sort of have establishments that specifically deal with those things, so that as a producer, I don't have to worry about that. Right. Remember last week I told you that if I had to choose whether I want to sign to a label or not, I would choose to sign because I want to concentrate on this creative space that we're doing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the notable things that we can take from Boi-1da? What are the things that stand out?
Okay, one of the notable things is that he's not shy to share his work, right?
Okay.
Not very shy to. I'll give you a good example. There's a song he produced on Kanye West's album, right? And on that song, he just contributed the bass line. It's just the bass line that he's done.
Right.
He's not shy to do things like that. And I think as producers, we need to have that kind of mentality that, nah, man, like I can just do the drums. You can do the sample. Other way around, doesn't matter. What matters is creativity. What
right.
matters is how are we going to make this song complete and make it, and make some money off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of the first few producer spotlights that we did, and how you kept drilling in this idea of collaboration.
Yeah.
And the more we speak about the producer spotlight and some of the things and the way that the producer scene is set up, it makes me wonder, are we having a situation where, even with what you're saying right now, are people's mindsets really the thing that needs to change more than acquiring skill sets? Because it seems as though people are like glory hungry.
Absolutely.
They want to be the guy, like, yo, I made that smash hit.
Absolutely. And I have to say that especially for people that come from our generation, we still have this mental stagnation, that comes from our history. When you come from an apartheid background, right? As much as it's not here anymore and all of that, a lot of its traits are still
lingered.
We're still living with those things, and a lot of it has to do with the way we love ourselves and the way we love others. And as Black people in this country, we still have a very big problem in expressing that, and expressing it in a way that will help us grow as a people.
I think you're right. It reminds me of, I don't remember where I read it or saw it, but it reminds me of this idea of operating from a place of lack.
Yeah.
When you're operating from a place of lack, you move in a particular kind of way, unlike when you're operating from a place of abundance.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the secret. So because we come from a history where we were people on the back foot and we came from lack, there's this thing of I never ever want to be there again. So any and every opportunity that comes my way, I must just grab.
Hoarding, Jay.
Yeah,
That's
I
always
must just
what-
grab and hoard it because I don't want to go back to where I came from.
Absolutely. And I think that also like applies to, you know, our creativity. If you actually look at the other genres like amapiano, those people are doing well in terms of the music that they're producing, but in terms of its value, there's something to be said, and it's a sad sight because those people sort of like, even the guys in Nigeria, you know, they have a certain stake in their sound, you know, but with us, it's like, yo, it's gotta be like these 2, 3, 4 labels that are gonna be like, yeah, no, we're gonna take this and we're gonna take it all over, but it doesn't belong to you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that for us is one of the biggest problems that we have. But the good thing is that I'm hopeful that things will change and we will realize these things,
Right.
and we will educate ourselves. I mean, like platforms like this, if you watch all the producer spotlight episodes,
Yeah.
there's something to learn, there's something to grasp and to empower yourself as a music
100%.
producer, you know.
And I think it's not even just as a music producer, you know, because we learn a lot of life things as well, things that you can
Yeah.
apply no matter what industry you're in and no matter what role you take in that industry. So
Yeah.
it's just gone 26 minutes after 1 o'clock. We've got, yeah, bro. Every week I say, Mr. Instro, come on, man, let's make this thing an hour. But something tells me that we might get it right in April. I just have a little inkling and a little feeling. So right now, though, it's gone actually 27 minutes after 1 o'clock. 3 minutes to go before Koli has to come through. What else can we take from Boi-1da and the moves that he has made?
Okay, it's important for me to mention that he spearheaded this new era. I mean, maybe it's sort of like, you know, I wouldn't say dying down now, but like there was a time when we were experiencing this exotic sound. You know, when
Yes.
Drake released Controller,
One
Rihanna,
Dance.
One Dance,
Yes.
work. That kind of sound, that dancehall sound, that comes from his dancehall background.
And
you
his
know,
Jamaican roots.
His Jamaican roots. His dad apparently would, you know, play so much dancehall that, you know, he would find a lot of Sean Paul, a lot of Beanie Man, you know. And I think as a producer, it's the most incredible thing to find that side of you, you
Right.
know. Me personally, I was raised in a house that always played gospel music,
Right.
Like, yo, 24/7 they're playing that Jesus music. And as a producer, I found myself gravitating towards these chord progressions, and I didn't even know why. You know. And at that time it was like, yo, this is just how I make beats. Every time somebody would talk about an Instro beat,
Right.
they would talk about something emotional, you know. And I think it's so important to have that trait, to use all the influences that are around you to create something new. And Boi-1da did an exceptional job with those joints. Like, it's so impressive how he brought everything together and made people dance again, you know?
That is very true. All right, Mr. Instro, 29 minutes after 1 o'clock. Final parting shots before you make way for Koli.
I wanna be Boi-1da's friend. That's my parting
All
shots.
right,
If
Boi-1da.
you're listening, my brother, you and me gotta talk.
All right, Boi-1da. This man is at Mr._Instro
Thank you.
on social media. If you see this anywhere, if you hear of this anywhere, if you know Boi-1da,
Yes.
just let him know that there is this incredible South African producer who really just wants to establish a relationship
There
with
you
him.
go. I couldn't have said it better.
All right. Mr. Instro is going to be back again next week, Wednesday, from 1 until 1:30. And hopefully in April, I will get it right. And we will get the producer spotlight to be a full hour. Because I think there's so much value that we can take from this thing that we are doing. And I think that we should really, really flesh it out a whole lot more. Right now, it's just gone exactly 1:30. Olile Ndovela is here. She is ready to give us a quick news update and let us know what is going on in our world. That is the element on the rocking, real and relevant Massive Metro.
The Producer Spotlight with Mr. Instro.
You can be a beat maker and not be a music producer. But when you're a music producer, you don't have to be a beat maker.
Only on the elements.